A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Big Stone Television. As you know, the series continues of our great musicians, singers, and players of instruments. Today, it is an honor to present to you a true living legend. We're talking about a man known by the name as Ernest Ranglin. Ernest Ranglin was born on the 19th of June, 1932. Ernest Ranglin is a Jamaican guitarist and composer who established his career while working as a session guitarist and music director for various Jamaican record labels, including Studio One and Island Records. Ranglin played guitar on many early ska recordings and helped create the rhythmic guitar style that defined the form. Ranglin has worked with Theophilus Beckford, Jimmy Cliff, Monty Alexander, Prince Buster, the Skatalites, Bob Marley, and the Eric Deans Orchestra. He is noted for a chordal and rhythmic approach that blends jazz, mento, and reggae with percussive guitar solos, incorporating rhythm and blues. Ernest Ranglin was born in Manchester, Jamaica. His family moved to Kingston, where he attended the Providence Primary School, Kingston Senior School, and Bowdoin College. Ranglin's introduction to music was through two uncles who both played guitar. Initially a self-taught guitarist, he received some tutoring on how to sight read from a violin player named Tommy Tomlins. At the age of 15, Ranglin joined the Val Bennett Orchestra, which was followed by a period of employment with the Eric Deans Orchestra. While performing locally with these orchestras, Ranglin was introduced to the jazz pianist Monty Alexander, which led to a lifelong friendship as well as numerous musical collaborations. During the 1950s, Ranglin played guitar on calypso and mento releases, some of which were recorded for the tourist market. The 1958 album, The Regulars Sing Calypso at the Arawak, is representative of the style of calypso floor show that Jamaican bands perform at hotels. Some of the tracks from the original album were included on the 2010 CD release Jamaica Mento 1951-1958. He was employed as a guitarist by the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation, JBC, between the years of 1958 and 1965 with public radio broadcasting. Radio services had been established earlier, with the first broadcast transmitted in November 1939, commencing in 1959, and television broadcasting commencing in 1963. Ranglin also played with Chloe Johnson's studio band, Clue J and the Blues Blasters, recording several tracks for Cox and Dad at Federal Studio, including the Theophilus Beckford hit Easy Snapping, recorded in 1956 and released in 1959, which he arranged and played guitar on. Ranglin also played on the Beckford track Jack and Jill Shuffle and Shuffling Jug. In 1962, the James Bond film Dr. No was being shot in Jamaica, and Ranglin was hired by Carlos Malcolm, music director for JBC, to compose music for some of the scenes set in Jamaica. Ranglin was also the bassist on many early Prince Buster's hits, including the 1963 ska release Wash Wash, a situation that arose from his contractual obligation to Federal Records, which barred him from appearing as a named guitarist on recording not made or licensed by them. In 1963, Ranglin played guitar on and arranged My Boy Lollipop, which was sung by Millie Small, who had recently been signed to Blackwell Island's record. My Boy Lollipop, a cover version of a song written by Robert Spencer of the doo-wop group The Cadillacs and originally recorded by Bobby Gay in 1956, became a worldwide hit after being released by Ireland and licensed to Fontana in March 1964. Ranglin was also employed by Duke Reid as an A&R man for Reed's Treasure Isle label, as well as fulfilling the same role for the label's Federal, owned and operated by Ken Corey, who recorded and produced Ranglin's 1965 Guitar in Ernest album and Gay Feet. His solo release during this period saw him return to his jazz roots with the albums Ranglin 1964 and Reflections 1965, both issued by Ireland. He was also involved with Meritone, a subsidiary record label started by Federal. In 1964, Ranglin was in London with Blackwell, who was inquiring if it would be possible for Ranglin to play at Ronnie Scott Jazz Club. Initially, the manager of Ronnie Scott was reluctant to agree, but eventually allowed Ranglin to sit in with the house band. The reception the audience gave to his performance overcame any reservation that the manager may have had, and Ranglin was invited to become the venue resident guitarist. He stayed for 9 months, backing numerous guest artists, as well as appearing on stage with the Ronnie Scott Quartet and Quintet. In 1964, a live set was recorded at the club, which was released on the Fontana label as The Night is Scott and You're So Swingable in 1966. Ranglin's tenure at Ronnie Scott brought him to the attention of UK jazz audience with the Melody Makers, readers duly voting Ranglin into first place in the guitar category of the paper's 1964 Reader's Jazz Poll. Upon his return to Jamaica, he found himself once again doing A&R and session work for Federal, musical director from 1965 to 1972, and Coxsone. He was involved in the recording of the Wailers track, It Hurts to Be Alone, released on the Coxsone label in Jamaica and subsequently released in the UK, 1965 by Island Records. Ranglin, also music director for the recording of the melodious song Rivers of Babylon, 1967. The closing years of the 60s found Ranglin working with the Jamaican producer Lee Scratch Perry and Clancy Eccles, both of whom were instrumental in developing and establishing the new genre of reggae. Ranglin played on the Eccles-produced Say What You're Saying, 1967, by Eric Monty Morris, which is cited as one of the earliest records to feature reggae drumming. In 1973, Ranglin was awarded the Order of Distinction by the Jamaican government for his contribution to music. Ranglin frequently recorded Latin Caribbean-infused jazz with Monty Alexander during this period, most notable the album Ras, 1974. Ranglin also toured with Jimmy Cliff in the dual role of music director-guitarist, which resulted in the 1976 album release in concert, The Best of Jimmy Cliff. Ranglin was the lead guitarist on Lee Scratch Perry's recording session at Black Hawk Studios for the Heart of the Congos 1977 album by the Congos. In 1982, he moved to Florida, where he continued to record as well as taking the opportunity to perform more regularly at jazz festival. In 1991, Ranglin's neighbor, Gary Cosby, formed the group Jazz Jamaica. Ranglin and Jazz Jamaica performed together at Ronnie Scott in October 2009 as part of the club anniversary concert series. In 1998, he signed to Chris Blackwell's newly formed Palm Pictures label and released In Search of the Lost Rhythm. That same year, he played on I Got Plenty to Nothing with Spirit, which was released on the Red Hot Organization compilation album, Red Hot plus Rhapsody. The albums EB at Noon and Modern Answer to Old Problems were released in 2000, followed by Groovin' in 2001. In 2002, Ranglin was awarded an honorary doctorate degree from the University of the West Indies for his outstanding contribution to the development of music in Jamaica. In 2006, he was the subject of a documentary, Roots of Reggae, the Ernest Ranglin story, produced and written by Arthur Garson. In 2008, Ranglin was inducted in the Jamaica Music Hall of Fame by the Jamaica Association of Vintage Artists and Affiliates, JAVA. In 2015, Ranglin announced that he would be retiring from the music business with a farewell tour in the summer of 2016. The tour would feature musicians including Tony Allen, Courtney Pine, Ira Coleman, Cheek Lowe, and Alex Wilson. Ranglin was honored with the Order of Jamaica in the 2021 National Honors and Award on Jamaica's 59th anniversary of independence. In 2021 and 2022, he recorded the album Two Colors with saxophonist producer Dean Fraser, which is set to be released in May 2022. Ernest Ranglin, a legend / an icon. It is an honor to actually do a tribute to a Jamaican man who was born in humble upbringing, who toured the world and became the #1 guitarist the world has ever seen. Ernest Ranglin came and he saw, and he definitely conquered. He said he is retired, but I still think that there's a whole lot left in the fingertips of Ernest Ranglin. A great guitarist, a great musician, a pioneer, a man who has been with all of the greats from Bob Marley to Jimmy Cliff to you name them. He has played in many, many, many studio sessions and recording. Ernest Ranglin, I just want to say thank you, sir, for doing what you love best. Thank you, sir, for starting to play the instrument from as early as 15 years old. And now you're a giant of your game. Ernest Ranglin, we love you, we honor you, and respect you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The immortal, the electrifying Ernest Ranglin. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now is the time to do so. Thank you so much for watching.